So we're here today with Ryan in Fullerton, Illinois, right? This is
Town of Fullerton.
big town of Fullerton. Not a whole lot going on here outside of a big fertilizer shed that you filled up with pellets. So we appreciate that.
You bet. I'm happy to use them.
It does give a good opportunity in the wintertime when it's snowing and cold, the ground's frozen. We're thinking for spring and getting ready for planting.
Yep, we load them here and then we truck them across their scale just to double check because I want to make sure I'm hitting my targets for what I'm putting on per acre. And then my fields are all pretty close to here, so we go unload in the field and load the spreader and start slinging them.
I see. So how many ton are you putting on today?
2 ton to the acre.
2 ton to the acre. You growing corn or beans, or what's that going to?
These are going on acres that'll be corn in 25.
Okay. Nice, and that's all certified organic corn, or?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Nice. Yep. Well, so in our product, our pellets that you're using, OMRI listed, so I assume that makes it a little easier for you to
makes it very easy in the
go and print that certificate off.
Yep.
No questions asked. So we spread a lot of raw too, but what do you think makes the pellets advantageous in comparison to the raw?
Well, for me, I live here, and the smell is a benefit. I mean, they maybe have 10 to 20% of the odor that raw would have. They spread
That's a big deal.
A lot more evenly. They break down a lot more consistently.
So the pellets go in the truck, in the spreader, pretty easy cleanup for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see them spread and see how that process works. So appreciate you having us
up. We got the perfect cold day for it.
Yeah, it's cold. What is the temp? 15 and snowing, 20 degrees.
It's a heat wave compared to what it has been.
Yeah, the last 2 days. So we've been trying to come up for the last couple days to see your process and how things are going here, but it's been
equipment wouldn't start. It was so cold.
Wouldn't start. It's so cold, -degrees. All right, well, let's go check it out.
Yep, sounds
cool.
good.
Thanks. Is that a fertilizer mixer out there?
I believe it was.
Boy, once that stuff gets all in there in chunks, that would be hard to spread.
I stood on the fender this morning with a spade, and it would just kind of get bunched up, and I could just knock it through, and it went fine. But
what's this out here?
I grow chestnut trees too.
Oh, you do? This is your farm?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I got 400 here, and then another 400 back there.
Well, that's really interesting. I guess trees they would need fertilizer too, right? I guess more fertilizer help your trees grow faster, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we had some experts out here a couple weeks ago that were showing us proper pruning practices for our trees at this stage. And this guy asked about fertilizer and if we'd done anything. And my dad said, we haven't done anything yet. We've talked about it. He said, what do you think's the best? And he said, do you have any access to bird waste? He said, specifically turkey. And my dad's like, we use turkey pellets on our organic farm. And he's like, oh, I'd love to get some turkey pellets.
So how would you do it? Would you spread the whole field, or would you just put a pile around each tree?
Yeah, we're going to just put it. I got a hydraulic dump trailer, and it's got a super slick floor. That's how we mulch them. We mulch these twice a year around the base.
Okay.
These are all irrigated on timers, and we would just fill my dump trailer, and I go right down the aisle with a couple guys, and you just scoop and throw around the base of each tree.
Maybe while you're mulching, or right before you mulch or something.
Yeah.
You just never know, and that's what we get into. We keep finding and learning new things all the time, and figuring out there's so much more use from what I always thought of. Where would fertilizer go? I always thought the only place you need fertilizer is on a corn or beans, or these big fields that you see while you're driving down the interstate. You see all these huge things.
No,
these patches like this is perfect.
We've probably got a little time if you want to drive down this road. I'll show you the rest of my stuff.
Okay.
This is in year number 2 transition. So this is wheat this year.
Okay. So last year this was corn.
No,
last year this was beans.
This is non-GMO transition beans. Yep.
And then you go to wheat, and then you go to
wheat.
Corn next year.
Yep.
So
the wheat year is pretty key for setting your corn up for success. So like February or early March, I'll fly on 15 pounds to the acre of clover out here as a cover crop, but it produces a lot of nitrogen.
February, fly it on. What do you mean by that?
Fly it on with a drone.
With a drone.
Yeah, so we'll put 15 pounds to the acre out here via drone. And that clover, you know, after you harvest your wheat, you got a nice mat of clover underneath there, and that clover grows, and I'll flail mow it 2 or 3 times a summer and put that clover back into the soil, and you can get, you know, 100 pounds of N from that clover. I was 180 to 2 on my conventional ground, and there has been some seed coating treatments that are now becoming OMRI approved that can get you up to 40 pounds of N on a seed coating. I did that last year on some of my conventional corn, and it really, like this field right here, man, the latter part of this 50 acres is normally, you know, 180 bushel corn maybe. It did 268.
268 bushel organic.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
this
organic.
was not organic.
Gotcha.
This will be organic next year.
Okay.
My organic corn made about right at 200.
200 bushel organic corn.
Yeah.
Using your process of
The wheat, clover, and
wheat, clover,
pellets. 2 ton. I did 2 ton last year as well.
2 ton of pellets.
Yep.
And you're not putting all that harmful stuff on your fields.
Right.
You know, or you're transitioning in away from that.
I got little kids, and so does my brother and stuff, and they play up here at the house. We've got a park up there. You know, I don't like the spray rigs driving. You know, I'm an organic guy. I really have no interest in conventional farming.
So these are chestnut trees also.
Yeah, we got 2 rows of chestnut trees, and then we got like some elderberry shrubs here.
Elderberries.
Yep.
I had a guy call me wanting fertilizer he had an elderberry farm.
Really?
Yeah. And that was another thing that caught me so off guard. I was like, I didn't even know people farmed elderberries, but somebody has to farm everything. Every single thing. In all these little places adds up
It does.
to what we're buying in the markets, you know, what we're eating.
Everything you see here at this point is organic. Not all of it's certified, but it's all in process. At least the only 2 fields I have left that I haven't transitioned are just, there's 26 acres up here by the house and 44 acres across the street. I've been doing a field a year or 2 fields a year. If you try to make that jump all at once,
It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. And there's a learning curve to it, figuring this stuff out and dialing in your equipment, you're cultivating.
Whack, right?
Well, it's a 3-year process, so you got to have 36 months of 36 months it's free of any unapproved substance. That's what's tough about this is so for 2 years or 24 months at least, you're going to raise organic yields and have to sell that crop at conventional prices because you're not certified yet. And that's
But the you know, the yields you're mentioning aren't far off anyways.
No,
when
I
you
found my
when you
yields.
do the right price. You
Yeah.
know, when you do it right.
I found my yields to be, you know, 80-85% of what I think conventional
So it
yields would
can be done, you know, and I guess just as a world or as a country, we've just transitioned away from, I guess the lack of availability is one thing for manure because not everybody has access to it.
Right,
So what do you know, there's more acres than manure.
there is.
You got a good deer hunt around here?
Yeah. Deer hunting consumes me, unfortunately. This field was organic corn last year. And this is a field that we were lucky. I really thought if I got 140, 150 bushel organic corn off of that, that's about as good as I was going to do.
Do you think
I had to replant this field on June 12th due to insect damage. And as the corn was really small, 2 to 3 inches tall. And I tore it out and replanted on June 12th, and it made 188.
ain't bad. How do you think that the organic practices affect the deer and turkeys, wildlife in general?
They prefer it. They can tell when chemicals or non-natural substances are being applied. And I can tell you by driving around of an evening and looking at the wildlife in my fields versus my neighbors that they know the difference.
And you have a lot of experience in the hunting. I mean, you're an avid hunter, have hunted all your life all over the country, right? I mean,
In a lot of places, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point in itself, just the fact that, you know, if the animals are liking it better, they can taste the difference.
Man, I haven't seen a quail. You know, I'm 34 years old, and I can't tell you the last time I saw a quail until these last 2 years. And this was one of the first years first fields I went organic on right here. There's 100 acres. And there's quail all over it now, and pheasants. I bet I flushed 50 pheasants out of this field when I was flail mowing this clover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good time to spread. It's working well. Looks like they're laying it down. So, you know, getting a good jump on spring, I'd say. Taking advantage of frozen ground. Might as well be doing something.
No, it's perfect time.
Perfect opportunity. So, yeah. Well, it looks like their interrogator's doing a great job. So, spilling a little bit, but I think they're getting the hang of it. They're getting better at it. So,
Yeah.
It's always
different.
Always a learning curve to anything, any new things, and these pellets they flow like grain. So, you know, if they leave that gate open, they got to close that. Looks like they're doing a good job all in all, I'd say. So, thanks for having us up. I'm excited to watch your process. Excited to come back
Yeah.
when you start planting, and then in the harvest time, just to see how all this works and learn more about it.
No, I appreciate what you guys do and the product and the friendship and coming up here and
Yeah.
seeing this end of it. So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get this done so we can go hunt something.
sounds good.
All right. Thanks.